Hi, my name is Kayla. This is my dog Barley. Today we're going to be showing you a nail trim tutorial to trim Barley's nails. Now there are a few things you're going to need to do your nail trim. The most important, next to your dog of course, is going to be your nail trimmers. There are a few different styles that you can use. There are grinders that actually have a motor in them and use a bit that grinds the nail down. Those are not the greatest for dogs that are sound sensitive. Barley here is not a fan of them, so we're not going to be using one of those today. You also have your traditional hand grip style nail trimmers. They work like a guillotine style that you put over the nail and trim it. I much prefer the scissor style. So it works like a scissor. I don't have to really think about maneuvering it too much. It's easy to use. They even come with this little protector. You can see here to prevent you from going too far in the nail. Now I'm pretty comfortable doing nail trims, and the amount you're cutting off is actually very dependent on your dog, so I'm gonna push this to the side today and not use that. Now once you have your nail trimmers, you're gonna wanna bring a few other items just in case. Now the first one I like to have on hand is a quick stop powder. This is in case you cut the quick in the nail. That is the little pink part that's in Barley's nail here. We don't want to trim that. That's where the blood source, the nail actually encases that. So if we do trim too far, it will bleed, and this will stop the bleeding. But hopefully we're not going to need that today. The other thing you're going to really need is treats. Now Barley here will eat just about anything, but I have some freeze-dried beef liver that he's really fond of. There you go, good boy. I also have some cookies, and then the big, super happy treat is the Cheese Whiz. So Barley loves Cheese Whiz, and this is a great tool to use, especially if your dog is not comfortable with nail trims. Now I've had Barley 7 years, and I've really worked with him to be comfortable doing nail trims, so I can kind of use a few different things. But if you're just starting off or you're a little nervous, having a tool that you can distract your dog with while you're trimming their nails is really great. So this is something that you can have a person holding, just spreading. You can use it on a spoon if you don't have a squeeze bottle. But one thing I really like to do, especially when I'm doing nail trims on my own, is just spread it onto a surface that you can clean. And then your dog can lick this, they'll be standing in front of you, distracted, and you can trim their nails. Now Barley would rather lay down and eat it out of the tube instead of stand up. He is a bit lazy. So once you have all those tools, those are your kind of main things you need to get a good setup and a good time of day to work with your dog's nails. If your dog has a zoomy time, super hyper, we're not gonna wanna do nail trims at that time. They're just not gonna be able to focus. So we wanna keep them in a calm kind of setting. If you've had a really busy, hyper day, really active, don't do a nail trim that day. It's just gonna be too much for them. Here I have a mat on the ground. This is just to keep a steady surface so Barley has something to grip on. You don't want to use anything too slippery. Barley is a large dog, so I can't bring him up onto a table surface. This is something that you want to do with a Chihuahua or small breed dog. You want to bring them up to your level so that you're not hovering over the ground, overwhelming them. Barley here, I cannot do that. He's 75 pounds. I can't lift him on the table. So we're going to stay on the ground, and I'm going to get to his level to keep him comfortable. Another optional item that you can have is a muzzle. So this is a cage muzzle that Barley is fairly comfortable putting on. I don't need to use it today because I am pretty comfortable trimming his nails. But if you are a person who is worried about your dog potentially melting your hands, or just a little overwhelmed, or maybe even had an experience in the past where you've been nipped, having a cage muzzle on can really calm your nerves and then therefore keep the dog calmer too. But just know, in order to use a muzzle, you have to introduce it to the dog much before you're doing the nail trim. You don't want to just be putting it right on their face and then trimming their nails right away. That's too much new at one moment. But that is definitely an option that's really good to have and can help out. You can also always grab in a second person to help you out here. So now for the actual nail trim. I have Barley laying on the ground here. This is Barley's most comfortable way to trim nails. I know that about him, but there are a few different ways you can do it. You can have them standing. I'm gonna first show you how I trim the nails, just because Barley's already in a comfortable position, and then I can show you a few different positions you can have your dog in and what works best for them. So hey, can I see your paw? Good boy. So what we wanna do is just trim the tip of the nail. Now the thing about Barley here is he actually has clear nails. I'm very lucky to have a dog with completely clear nails where I can clearly see where the pink is and the blood source. Not every owner is this lucky. Most dogs' nails have dark or are completely black, in which case you're gonna have to go slow and look at under the nail. And we'll show that when we stand up. So you're gonna have to look at the nail and only trim the little pieces of it a little bit at a time, and you kind of wanna keep it flat with the paw. We don't wanna be trimming on an upward angle because that's just gonna accidentally hit the quick. Now for Barley here, we'll just start with a few at the tip. So he just needs a little bit. He doesn't have too long to go or too much to trim off, and that's because I trim his nails very regularly. Good boy. There we go, good boy. And you can see here, he's really calm and comfortable. He's uncomfortable with that one, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give him his favorite treat and take a little bit of a break because he pulled away a little bit. He didn't like that one too much. Once he's finished, if he's still calm, we'll continue. If your dog is no longer calm, they're done, they don't wanna do anymore, stop. Give them a really good treat, and on a really high note, do the rest of the nails another day. There is no rule that says you have to do every single nail in one sitting. I often will do them one here and there because his nails don't grow all at the same pace, unfortunately. Hi, good boy, can I see your other paw? Good boy. Okay, we're gonna trim one more. There we go, good boy. You wanna try a different position? So for Barley, this works really well for me. I can even get his back nails if I were to come around, and he'll lay in this position. Your dog may not do that. They may be a little bit more running around. They may want to sit. They may be a little bit more on edge. So we'll see if we can get him into that position, and I can show you that. Hi, can you come here? Sit. Nope. Good boy, sit. Yes, stay. There we go. Don't stand there, Alicia. I know, you want to lay down. So if they're sitting, you can lift their paw in front of you. You can kind of put it behind to trim. Now this is quite handy for if your dog's nails are dark. You can see the kind of base of the nail, and that will show you where the quick is a little bit more. As you can see here, Barley does not want to stay in the sitting position for those nail trims, so I'm not going to force him to do so. If your dog is really wiggly, they don't want to sit still, they don't want to lay down, they don't want to do it, you may need a second person to hold them. And ways you can do that are with the dog standing. So let's see. Not this? Come on, stand. Yes. Come here. And things you can do, you want to hold them. So what you would do, and I'm going to have my coworker Stephanie come in, is I'm holding Barley and I have him securely to me. And so Stephanie would be able to lift the back paws or the front paws, and I have him steady in my arms. Now the key here is the person holding the dog has to be very comfortable doing so because you can't let go. You gotta hold them steady, but the way I'm doing this is a way that's comfortable for him. And then that's how we'll trim the back nails. Good boy, good boy, well done. I know, yeah. And this is how you can use the Cheese Whiz here. He finally decided to get up and do it. So he's distracted, and now I, by myself, can trim a nail. I can lift a paw, and he honestly doesn't care because he just wants that Cheese Whiz. So it's a really handy tool for you. And that's how you trim your dog's nails. Ultimately, if you are not comfortable doing the nail trim, there are services that you can hire. Your vet likely does them, as well as a groomer. And then for more information regarding nail trims, you can visit omhs.ca.